Hello. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. We have to pretend like we're in school. Good evening. My name is Monica Lloyd, and I'm the Executive Director for Shoes and Clothes for Kids. Thank you so much for coming. We've been so excited to have you join us in our new space. This is 55 years in the making, so all of our old timers who've been around know that we've literally been looking for space for 55 years, and we found it, so welcome to our homecoming. I just have a couple people I want to thank, and then we're going to move on with the program. Obviously, thank you, our sponsors. We have a digital program, and there's a QR code on all of the tables, so please take a look at that. The Fine family, who are presenting sponsors, longtime supporters, and Irving was one of our founders, so thank you so much for coming, but also for your continued support. Our co-chairs, Sam and Scott, they're around mingling, they're getting ready. Thank you so much. They've been our co-chairs for a couple of years, and when Sam, Scott, Kelly, and I met earlier this year and we talked about where we wanted to have the fall event, it was a no-brainer that we would have it in our new space, especially since we've been fundraising and we've been talking about it at the last two Shorbies. It just made sense to have it here. So thank you so much, Sam, Scott, and Kelly, for your leadership. Do we have any committee members here? Would you please stand? Our board, associate board, they've helped us so much. They helped plan this event, the different classes that came out of a discussion that we were having. So thank them for the interactive component of the evening. They helped raise sponsorship money, sell tickets, but also helped us set up. People were here setting up tables and moving around furniture. So thank you so much for that as well. And then our volunteers. We had some great volunteer groups this week that helped us set up. And then we have some weekly volunteers that come every week, and they continue to come to help us get ready for today's event. And then last but not least, our staff. Our staff really stepped up to make sure that we were able to transform our space from a warehouse and a store to a nice party atmosphere. So thank you so much, staff. Staff, stand up. Thank you. So now I'm going to turn it over to Sam Friedman and Scott Simon, and they're going to have some co-chair remarks and then also give out our awards for the evening. No.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our venue. For folks that have been around for a handful of these, moving through from a luau to the Shorby Club to this, it's been a journey. But I think as someone who's involved in fundraisers, there's nothing better we could possibly do than to connect ourselves to the place where it happens. And Shoes and Clothes for Kids is such a hands-on and visceral organization. People pack boxes here and pull things out of UPS trucks and drive to schools. It's not a pencil-pushing group. And so I think this is a really a much better representation of who and what we are. And I'm really glad you were able to come here. This was definitely mine and Scott's hope, and I know it was Monica's dream to be able to show this off to everybody. So hopefully you got to see what it is that's here on the ground. You got to get your hands into some of the stations, and through supporting what you did tonight, you got a little better taste of what it is that Shoes and Clothes and Kids actually does for the community. And so thank you. A few other thank yous before I give out my first award this evening. A huge thank you to Monica, obviously, for overseeing, for putting in the time, the energy, for stepping into big shoes following Terry's position and really showing us this year what leadership and movement and new can be. And I think we're all very excited to be here with her and her leadership. So thank you, Monica. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly runs our board like a tight ship. Obviously, the board chair has to give about 1,000% more than everybody else, and that is how it is. And so thank you, Kelly, for giving all of that. Someone has to do it, and we're very much appreciative that it is you. Thank you. A big thank you to the staff. You guys have been great. Dina and Carolyn have been exceptional, and none of this would be happening tonight without Colleen Carey, who has really put in sweat and blood and tears to kind of help raise the funds and put this all together. So thank you, Colleen. A big thanks to Kevin Kearney and Aramark, who are always so supportive. So much of what's happening out there, we had to reinvent the wheel this year. Fancy bow-tied Shoreby employees were not here to do it all for us. And so if we wanted ice, ice had to appear. If we wanted beer, beer had to appear. And so Kevin and Aramark were really wonderful, as always. So applause for them. Thank you, Kevin. And really, I want to give thanks to the people that I brought in tonight, mostly because I want to say their names. If you saw that unbelievable charcuterie spread out front and you ate from it, that was a woman named Brandy Lane, who goes by Basil and Brie Charcuterie. You can look up Basil and Brie online. You can see pictures that look like that. She will come do your event, and it will be that stunning. We were really thrilled that she was here. The food that you ate tonight, the main course, that was from Joanna. And, you know, Pearl Flower Catering has gotten a name now around town for doing premier catering. She started this from scratch and now has a large team of people behind her, and she was excellent to work with, so do check out Pearl Flower Catering. And then on your way out, you're going to be surprised by another table that will look like that charcuterie but will be much sweeter. That is Honey Birch Bakehouse. They are on Larchmere. They're a small husband-wife team. I think it is probably some of the best pastries in the city of Cleveland. Go there, check them out, and support them as well, but make sure on your way out you grab some dessert. So thank you to all of those vendors. And I'm excited to present this evening's first award, the Allan Krulak Golden Shoe Award. This is when the glasses come out. So, first thing, it is my honor to present this award this year in particular because this award has been basically renamed in honor of Allan Krulak. He is a chairman emeritus, and we recognize all the dedication, all the influence that Allan has had on this particular organization. Sadly, Allan cannot be here this evening, but he does send huge congratulations and tons of support, both to the organization and to tonight's honoree. This particular award recognizes a contribution that has been made that has had a lasting impact on shoes and clothes for kids. And so this year, we are going to not just honor one, but actually honor two Golden Shoe honorees. Please let me introduce the first of these honorees. As a very long-time board member and the current vice chair, Dennis Rose has been an absolute key member of our board. Dennis. In addition to serving on many committees over many years, Dennis has toured countless potential warehouses, office spaces, dirty random corners of the city in the hopes that we could find a new home for shoes and clothes for kids. When the food bank approached and said that this community resource center was an option, Dennis, with all of his power and his committee, knew that his search was finally over, and he put his full power behind making this place a reality. Relying upon all his years of service, his knowledge, the organization's programs and needs and history, Dennis was truly able to provide suggestions, guidance, and advice that ensured that SC4K was able to make the right move. Thank you, Dennis, for that. Despite his many professional and personal commitments, Dennis always takes the time to attend the Shoes and Clothes for Kids meetings and events. I can attest to this myself. He is always there. And he lives out his passion for community by truly helping the children in our community get what they need to succeed in school through his support through Shoes and Clothes for Kids. Please join me in congratulating the Allan C. Krulak Golden Shoe Award honoree this year, Dennis Rose. Thank you, Dennis. And Dennis would not be alone because we must announce the second winner for this evening. We are giving an award to Hahn, Loeser and Parks, LLP. Known here locally as Hahn Loeser, this law firm has been a staple.
My partners.
You won. This firm has been a staple here in Cleveland for over 100 years. With 140 attorneys, the firm has 6 offices across the country, and their reach truly impacts local communities everywhere. The firm is committed to Cleveland's community, evidenced by their unwavering support for folks like Dennis. When Dennis celebrated his 30th work anniversary, they made a financial contribution to commemorate his milestone, and again have done so for his 35th. Hahn Loeser has also sponsored many Shoes and Clothes for Kids fundraising events over the years and helped to support children in need here in this community. In fact, they are one of the supporters of this evening's program. Thank you very much. I would like to invite representatives of Hahn Loeser up to the stage, please, if you would not mind. Please join me in a very loud round of applause for Dennis Rose and Hahn Loeser. Don't leave. Where are we? Down here? That's not it. No.
Good to hear. Don't see there.
Okay. That one, and then that's down there. Thank you, guys.
I have some remarks.
Good, please.
Thank you, and obviously thank you for this honor. I think I might be the second lawyer that has gotten this award. I'm looking at Jerry Brodsky. I think he might be the first to get the award. I just have a few remarks, no more than 35, 40 minutes, so I hope you're ready. But look, I just want to talk about why I've been supporting this for a long time. And I'm sure everyone here has the same view. This is a children's charity, and children don't have any choice. They didn't make a choice to be in need. They didn't make a choice to be in poverty. And the way they can get out of that is through education. I'm a former teacher. I always believed in this organization. And this is a little charity that could. And when it started, we've all heard it, but I want to tell the story of how it started with buying shoes, new shoes, a critical part of Shoes and Clothes for Kids. It is new items that are given to kids, not used. And we're not coats that are thrown in some kind of a bin that get cleaned, which is wonderful that they do that. But that isn't this mission. This mission wasn't get donated clothing. It's new clothes for the dignity. And that's what it was from the beginning. Jerry would know that from the beginning. And board members would deliver the shoes to schools and help the kids find the shoe, put them on, take them off. And there's a story that a longtime board member had of a kid who you take their old shoes away from them that were holes in them, and the kid said they wanted their shoes to take back to their sibling who doesn't have shoes. And that's what drove people in this organization for years, this deep need. It's grown. This organization has grown. It was Shoes for Kids, and that's what it was. And then we had an opportunity to have clothes that are donated clothes, give shoes and clothes for kids. And now we have school supplies. And now we have personal hygiene kits. All those things are things that are needed so kids can go to school. Attendance is, you can't graduate if you don't go to school. You can't succeed if you don't go to school. So it's to give them at least that barrier goes away. There's plenty in these kids' lives to go away. And that is what this organization, that's what all of you do by supporting it. And the organization certainly believes in their mission and is very grateful to people here who are helping us support the mission. And all these changes that have happened, our mission still has remained the same. We serve these kids with new items, with dignity, so that they can succeed and hopefully have a path through poverty. Thank you for the award. Hahn Loeser thanks you, and enjoy the rest.
Good evening, everyone. I am State Representative Bride Rose Sweeney, and I'm so happy to be here today I've been elected for the past 6 years, and actually right when I entered the legislature, I toured the original building at Choosing Clothes for Kids and was really astonished about the amazing work that was in a building that didn't reflect the amazing work that was happening. And so since I've been elected, I've worked to get money to make actually the food bank money to actually build the building, to get dollars. But at the end of the day, the work at the state, the work of getting those dollars doesn't mean anything if there isn't people like Dennis, like the other awardees to make that happen. And so one of my favorite parts of my job, and I think an important part of my job, is recognizing those community leaders who are on the ground making that real work happen. And so on behalf of the Ohio House of Representatives, I know it is just a piece of paper, but there are real qualifications in order to get a official proclamation from the state, and I have one for all of the award winners. And so I just want to say thank you on behalf of the House of Representatives for being the change, for being leaders in our community, for making sure that kids get what they need in order to get an education. So thank you, Dennis, and to the other awardees. So, yeah. It's the wrong one. Would you guys? I have one for you as well. Yeah?
My only rule is to go to the gold fountain.
All right, in the risk of making one more comment, I do want to say that we had the support of Representative Sweeney with the state, with helping us to get here, because there's a lot of things that need to happen and a lot of help from the state, which have helped us with our mission. And she's been a real advocate for us, and we appreciate it. I'm sure you've heard it before, but we appreciate it. So remember Sweeney come election time.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Scott Simon. I'm so honored to be with all of you here tonight. Dennis and I walked this space when it was raw, and to be quite honest with you, a bit of a dream for all of us. For those of us who have been involved for years, we remember those dingy spots, those dark and sometimes dangerous spaces where Shoes and Clothes for Kids did its business. Held its clothes and its shoes for the families in need. And we did it because the mission called us to do it. And I think we always hoped and dreamed and wished that we would have a place of our own, a place that we could feel proud of. And so when Sam and I first met with our fantastic, amazing staff, and we talked about leaving the Shoreby and maybe having an event in this space, we all knew in about 5 milliseconds that that was the right decision. And oh boy, was it the right decision. Please give yourselves a round of applause for coming. Any of you who rang a bell tonight or had a bell rung for you tonight, how did that feel? Wasn't it amazing picking out clothes ourselves, what Shoes and Kids for Clothes have done for so many years now, to actually do it ourselves and to feel that feeling. That's what we've been doing for so many decades now. Now, I get the chance to honor our Morrie Sayre Award winners for this evening, and I'd like to invite you all to look into the past for a moment. When you walked in, there was a picture of Morrie Sayre, our founder, who, as Dennis mentioned, would put shoes into the trunk of his car and drive them downtown and hand those shoes out. That's how things began for Shoes and Clothes for Kids. Imagine what Morrie would be thinking tonight, what Morrie is thinking tonight, having all of us here in this unbelievable space. And when I first started over 20 years ago, I was a young whippersnapper. I had really young kids, and I remember I was in my little apartment on Larchmere Road, and I had locked my children and me out of our apartment. Don't tell anybody, that actually happened. And we were sitting in the hallway, the three of us, and my cell phone rang, and it was a guy named Vic Gelb on my cell phone, who, if any of you knew Vic, he was a luminary in philanthropy, not just in Cleveland, but around the world. And he said, I want to introduce you to this organization. I'd love for you to be involved. And upon that first day of being involved, I started to meet some of the finest people I've ever met in my life. The volunteers, the founders, the people who worked every day for Shoes and Clothes for Kids. Allan Krulak, who couldn't be here tonight, along with Vic. And there was this incredible gentleman named Irving, who was one of the leaders of this organization. And I have to tell you, I don't know that I've met a finer gentleman in my entire life. He was just one of those guys who would never say no. He led, he pulled, he brought, he raised, and he helped make this organization what it is today. And I happened to be talking to his daughter earlier tonight as we were at the bar, and she said to me, this is just what we do. This is just what we do. And I think that says it all. And it says it all about Amy Nadler and her brother, Randy Fine. They just do. Of the 2,700 volunteers that have been part of our initiative over the past year, the two of them have distinguished themselves. They're leaders, but they're also doers. They come, they support, they lead, they fold, they shift, they fill boxes, and they provide inspiration to every single one of us. So just think about what this means at this very moment. Morrie Sayre's dear, dear friend, Irv Fine, has these two tremendous children who are now the recipients of this evening's Morrie Sayre Award for Leadership. They don't know it, they didn't know it, but they know it now. Please give them a huge round of applause as they join me on stage. Congratulations. Would you say a word or two?
We are like overwhelmed. I always said that when I retired from teaching, I always told Terry Yule that someday I would come here and volunteer. When I volunteered and I retired, Terry Yule also retired. So I never got to volunteer when he was still the chair. But Monica, thank you. We are like I said to Scott, we just do what we do. And my brother and I grew up with shoes in our house. We were in high school when my dad helped found Shoes for Kids. And being a volunteer now, this organization means more to us than it ever has before. And the volunteers that we have met, Lorraine and Sue, that we get to be with you every Tuesday, how fortunate we are. We've met, and Karen, we've met wonderful, wonderful people, knowing the staff that we know, our mom, my husband, my brother. I think the greatest gift my dad gave to us is that my brother and I now get to share Tuesdays together, and we go out to lunch every week, and it's just wonderful being part. And I thank you for filling backpacks tonight so that when we get to come next Tuesday, we have shelves to refill and we have something to do. People always say to us, what do you do when you go there every week? And we said, we never know what we're going to do, but we come and we do whatever they ask us to do, and it's so fulfilling. So thank you all for supporting tonight.
Yeah, please.
Well, I guess all I could think of it on the spur of the moment is the famous line from Gomer Pyle, surprise, surprise, surprise. No, this is really quite something special, and I had no idea, and I think Amy summed it up pretty well, and this is just what we do.
Good evening. I just get to wrap up the program or your school assembly. It's been the first school assembly for most of us in a very long time. You've been very good students. Thank you so much for your attention. And thank you for being here tonight. This, as you've heard from everybody that spoke, we are so proud to be here and to be able to extend what Shoes and Clothes for Kids has done over the past 50 plus years and do it for even more families and teachers. And for the first time, we get to have families come shop at our place that we've always had to distribute through schools or churches or neighborhood centers. But now we have families that walk into our doors and they go back to those shelves that you walk past and they pick out exactly what their child wants in their size, styles they like, and they take it home. There's brand new tags on it. And for us, it is just such a powerful experience to know that we are part of that. And all of you are part of that for having been here tonight. And we cannot thank you enough for your support of our organization and being here. I keep thinking about how different our life is as a Shoes and Clothes for Kids organization in the past few years, and just hope that we can make an even bigger impact on our community. I really want to thank our honorees, that we wouldn't be here without you. That contribution that you're making every day is huge, and we're honored to get to honor you. So thank you for all that you have done. To Dennis and the Nadlers and Hahn Loeser, thank you so much. I also do want to thank Scott and Sam again, that our event committee worked really hard on this event. If you've ever planned an event, when it's a new event in a new space with a new concept, it is a lot more work. It's a lot more brainstorming and ideas, and everything is really new for us this year. And I cannot thank Scott and Sam enough for being willing to continue being leaders of this event and working so hard. The fundraising that they did, the friend raising, and the logistics. Just thank you guys so much for leading this committee. We really appreciate it. I also want to again thank our board and associate board members. We have fantastic board and associate board members that really work, that we are not an honorary board. If you're on our board, you are going to be asked to help and contribute, and that's what makes it such a worthy experience. So I know we've talked to a few people tonight that have been here and been inspired and want to get involved. If this is something that you're interested in, we would love to talk to you about joining our board or our associate board or volunteering. So please find a board member or staff before you leave if that's of interest to you. And the other group that I really want to thank, that I even see them running around back on the other side of the building as we're talking, is our staff. That no matter how much we do fundraising and talking about Shoes and Clothes for Kids, it's our staff that are here every day that are making sure that everything is organized, that when we leave here tonight, they're going to turn this back into a store for teachers and families, and it's going to go right back to business as usual. This is not going to stay a party destination beyond tonight. So I cannot thank our staff enough, and especially Monica, who joined us as our executive director, and we moved in her first year. And if you've ever moved, you know how big of a move is for your house. If you try to move a business and you're learning your job, it's a lot. But Monica has risen to the occasion, and we could not be more proud of her. So I really want to thank Monica and our staff. So thank you. And because I know everybody wants to know. They have drawn the raffle prize numbers. They're going to be posted on the board on your way out. So please be sure and check and see if you're the winner. We're not going to stand here and read it because there was a lot of prizes and that would take a really long time. So please check and see if you're a winner. And again, thank you all so very much. We hope to see you back here next year. Thank you so much. Have a great night.